Good afternoon. Welcome to Dumb SEO Questions, episode 172. Each week we meet to answer the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Pleased to report you can now find us on Google+ by entering SEO Questions in the search bar. All right. Okay, we've got a number of questions tonight. I should introduce you guys first. I'll just try and find the right page first. David Rozam is a copywriter of 32 years standing and an SEO copywriter and SEO for the last 12 years. You can find David at writingforseo.org. And Masataki Wasa is webmaster of wasaweb.net, wasaweb.net, and Masataki is also a Google top contributor on the AdSense and also the Google Plus Help community. A regular speaker on the speaker circuit is Micah Fisher-Kirshner. Micah is located in the Silicon Valley side of the USA. I'm not supposed to mention your company, am I, Micah?
Sorry, go ahead. What?
Is it all right to mention the company as well?
Yeah.
Micah's Senior SEO Manager for Zendesk.com. All right, Rob Mars is an AdWords aficionado and an SEO in the Netherlands. You can find Rob at marketbiz.nl, M-A-R-K-E-T-T, M-A-R-K-E-T-B-I-Z-Z.nl. And Tim Capper, a conversion rate optimization specialist and proud to call himself an SEO. Tim resides in Corby in the frozen part of England, and you can find Tim at onlineownership.com. All right.
I actually admire his selection of trouser presses.
His selection of what, David?
His collection of trouser presses.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that in a general exhibition show.
Roseanne.
Yeah. Thank you. I can see you need trouser presses.
Yeah. I can walk. Do they still make them?
Here's the question.
I don't know. You know, you should know. You're in the place. You're in the epicenter of trouser pressing.
Valentina Huff. Valentina Huff has asked a number of questions of us, and tonight she asked another one. Google Webmaster Tools Structured Data section is the title. Valentina said, in Webmaster Tools under the Structured Data section, I'm seeing several hundred items with errors for one website. It seems strange that it's saying there are several hundred items with errors because we do not have several hundred schema items implemented on the site, only a few. What exactly does this mean and how bad is this from an SEO point of view? Can ranking be negatively affected?
Well, your structured data, depending, if you've got something like, let's say, an organization name in your header, then that will be going across all of your pages. If something there has come unstuck, then it's going to create one error per every single page. So that is what I'm assuming you're seeing in terms of your several hundred errors. If you click onto your errors in the Webmaster Tools, it should be showing you what specifically the error is or where it's located. Chuck that into the structured data markup tool and double check it. I don't think it will negatively affect you in terms of any rankings, but be aware that Google does have a manual penalty for structured data markup if it is intentionally manipulating or providing incorrect information on pages, but which I don't think you were doing, because obviously just an error, has appeared. But yeah, they do have a penalty, but that's only if somebody's trying to mark things up which either aren't on page, or they using their ratings across all pages when it should just be the one product page, etc. So that for me is, I would obviously find which one it is, or if you've only got a certain set amount of pages that you implement it on, chuck it into your schema markup, structured data checker, and then find that one error. I know, for example, Schema, for example, was saying not including in their JSON LD markup, they were including country language. They weren't including it. Google Docs are including it. You chuck it into the structured data markup and it throws massive errors like left, right, and center. Also, if you've tried to incorporate some bits, which has happened to me, it's marked up okay, it's fine, and then 6 months later somebody changes something or parameter or adds something in and it cocks it up again. So I would just try and work your way through and find it, but I don't think it's going to cause you a problem unless you were intentionally trying to deceive any like rich snippets as such.
Cool, excellent. Tim, anybody else with something to add to that? No, I think we're all agreed that that's the best answer, Tim. How do I mark it here? All right, Valentina, I hope that's what you're looking for. On to question number 2, the inconsistency of a Google search engine results pages. The title is from Monika Sahar. Monika said, hello everyone, I've just joined here and go through the posts which are really interesting. I agree. He said, I have a query. Today I was checking keyword ranking on Google, and my number one and number 2 keyword are not in the top 100 on a Google search engine results page. However, it was these 2 words were ranking when I checked last time. He says, but I got those article or blog links where I have submitted my website link. Can anyone tell me why this has happened? I think I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, first off, basically once you're kind of out of the first 1 or 2, maybe even 3 pages, the results are going to shift dramatically. So if you're looking at the top 100, honestly, anything down that line is quite variable. And yeah, so I'm not quite sure the reference around the article or blog link and submission of the site, but or not the site, sorry, but of the link. If what I'm taking to be kind of understood is that this page is submitted, it's fairly new. Oftentimes, Google might show something temporarily and then disappear. There could be personalization. You might have been logged in, and those types of things can create a false impression of it showing up, or create a temporary impression of it going to stay up. so that's kind of a lot of things. Google's going to be doing testing. They want to show potentially something that's recent and fresh, and then if it doesn't fit kind of their criteria of what should stay up, it's going to chuck it away. So there's a lot of potential variety about what's going on Google's search results there, and without knowing the query and diving deeper and kind of the page, it's going to be tough to isolate the cause.
Thank you, Micah. Anybody else? No, that seems pretty right here, Monika. Marty Eigner has a question on measuring traffic coming from a knowledge graph. Oh, that gives me a headache just thinking about it. He said, how can you measure traffic coming from a knowledge graph? I see Dave Elliott offered an answer on the SEO Questions community in Google+. Nobody?
No, I mean Dave's answer is sufficient. I mean, Google has parameters. Take a look at kind of some of the stuff. They don't necessarily always come up, but that can provide a good idea of where it's coming from there.
Okay, Marty, I have that will do it for you. All right. Question 4 on our run list is from Matus Mucha. Redirecting based on users' locale settings. Matus said another I18N question. I18N, what does that stand for, guys?
Internationalization.
Thank you.
Often sometimes used for international. Just
yeah.
FYI.
We'll go with different language versions in subfolders. I won't read out the URLs. The URLs can be seen on the SEO Questions community on Google+. You should be able to see them on the screen right now. He said, I think we'll go without the /en for English pages. Please let me know if you think that's a bad idea. I'm wondering about redirects based on a user's locale setting. We won't do anything on subpages. You come to the English URL and you stay there and have to manually change the language if you want to transfer to a German page. But I'm wondering about a behavior for the front page. Basically, what happens when the user comes to https:/domain.com, he said, here are my options. 1, do nothing, just show the English version. 2, redirect to a localized version, and then I'd have to use domain.com/en just so that the user has a chance to visit the English version and not be redirected. Also, would I lose page rank when most of the inbound links would point to domain.com, but would redirect to domain.com/en? And the third option is show an English version, but notify the user that a localized version exists. What solution would you recommend?
I think Federico and Dave Elliott gave good answers.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Masa.
Right. Federico and Dave Elliott gave good answers to that question in the community.
Yeah, one thing I would point out before diving into like the international part, the concept and noted here about what was it? Doing something different from the front page. So the thing to keep in mind is essentially that every page of your site is essentially a landing page, or it's a front page in a lot of ways. There is no single page that is just a front page. Like, throw that away for your mind, because people are entering in any whichever page of your website. So when it comes to how to deal with those situations, it should be done in the same way. So that's just one thing I would highlight. As for structure and setup, I've seen a lot of different variations. I think probably Federico's and Dave's answers are probably sufficient. I personally kind of dislike kind of doing the redirects, just because like this person clicked on this URL, this is where they should kind of go. But if you're going to do certain amounts of redirects, having a nice little like, hey, you can go back is always nice to kind of highlight, or tell them where the other kind of page is. You just have to be careful, as Federico was noting, when you're doing those types of redirects, that the bots are essentially understanding what you're doing, and it's not in a cloaked way. So, and I think, yeah.
Yep. Okay, I think we can safely move on from this with that to the next. Oh, gee, we're whipping through these. We won't be spending too long tonight. Here's another one from Matthias Mucha. Matthias said local domain versus subdomain versus subdirectory for localized content. He said, hi, we're building a website with hundreds of pages. They will be translated to other languages. We're going after very competitive keywords, mainly because the search volume is considerable. But our website will have higher quality and cover a larger portion of the market than any of hundreds of other competitors. We'll also be the only internationalized site. The competition on non-English markets is always local. I need to decide how to structure URLs. The German example is https://domain.d, d.domain.com, or option 3, domain.com/de. The former solutions probably yield some SEO benefits. How big is it? It comes with considerable drawbacks. Sessions won't carry on from domain to domain. Websites are somewhat harder to maintain and slightly more expensive to run. Extra domains, SSL certificates, will need more expensive analytics plans, etc. What URL scheme would you recommend? Funnily enough, I had this conversation with a relative by marriage over the weekend, or at least feels like the weekend, the last couple of days.
So, I mean, what I'm trying to do is, there was a great article that kind of put in a nice formatted layout to kind of showcase the difference between TLD, subdomain, and folder, and kind of the plus and minuses on that. And I'm trying to remember where I saw it so I can reference it. But what it did was essentially break down what the plus and minuses are for each type, because you'll talk to some SEOs and you'll find it two differences kind of between which way they like to go, but for the most part, you'll see I would say most people kind of suggesting the use of a TLD if you can, and then potentially going by probably a subfolder or a folder that I've seen with subdomains as of late, but generally the theme has been with TLDs just because the concept scene of having it hosted in the country, the concept of what people potentially are used to and expect it to be on the specific country located domain. That's usually kind of the top reasons for that. I'm going to keep trying to find the article, but I just wanted to at least throw that out there. And so I'll if I find it, I'll throw it into the comments afterwards.
I think the important thing is that once you choose a particular way, then stick with it. I think the costs of changing afterwards are going to be quite substantial. So it is right to think about this very carefully, because if you're going to have a website, if you're going to have a business that you want for the medium future, then you really need to make sure that it's on a sustainable and secure ground. And what you don't want to do is then start with, let's say, subfolders and then suddenly trying to change to TLDs and back, and then to subdomains and to another, and so on and so forth. So I think it really depends on the individual circumstances as well, but I think the important thing is that you have a business plan and then you are happy with that structure and you're sure that you can stick with it for the foreseeable future. I think that would be how I would approach it.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds fine to me. All right. Let's tweet this one. No, I've already done that. Let's go to the next. Question number 6 on our run list tonight is from Edisham Sheikh. And Edisham asks a question which he may get the wrong answer, or not the answer he was seeking. He said, could someone please help me in getting a free article submission site list?
No, because it's a very bad idea, for the reasons that Tim has said on community.
Actually, this obviously I'd answered this 2 days ago, but funny enough, if you go into Webmaster Central Forum, I looked at a site yesterday that was asking about how to get rid of their penalty, and I've never done anything, blah 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 blah. When I looked at the sites and I started checking through pages and things like that, hey presto, all of their stuff had been chucked into, well, they hadn't actually looked for links from article sites, but they had taken their articles and distributed them in article directory. So that created a whole spam situation where it appeared as if they were scraping the articles when actually it was the other way around. But there is untold headaches created by using that rubbish. One, nobody reads those. Nobody. I mean, on the odd, like, bizarre search query, you might get an article directory throwing up an article. But nobody reads those. So even if, you know, you found like the top quality of article directories out there, it's still not really worth your time in that sense, you know, from a traffic point of view, from a links point of view, from webmaster guidelines, from the potential of a spam point of view. If you're taking one article and spinning it and chucking in another article directory, it's just a waste of energy. If you're going to create something that's going to take you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 5, 2 days, create it, you know, and put it on your site. Why give it away to some crappy site that's never going to send you one person to come and visit you? It's like, just because someone talked about article directories, you know, 10 years ago in some dodgy, you know, bloody, it infuriates me. Don't do it, is the end of the story. There aren't any good directories out there that provide any sort of sense of purpose or benefit to you. So they're just really pointless. If you do want to reach out to people and get your product and your brand out there, there's nothing wrong with approaching some really high-profile sites and things like this with, if you've spotted an obvious niche or an obvious angle for an article, there's no problem reaching out to them and asking, you know, would they like to take a look at this, you know, article that you've created, which you think would really work well on their site, and send it across to them. The thing is, they will either go, yeah, it's brilliant, we'll publish it, or nah, it's not kind of what we're looking for at the minute. So, you know, that is worth your while in terms of if you spot an obvious high-profile site that hasn't covered something in your business genre, reach out to them. But in terms of article directories, no.
No.
No. Yeah.
What do we get from this? We get that Tim Capper is on the Google Webmaster Forum. They won't give you 2 tickets, you know, Tim.
Listen, mate, I'm having well, no, nobody commented on that. I don't think anybody's commented yet. Nobody's lambasted the poor bloke.
Well, maybe if they did give you 2 tickets, you could take David Roseanne.
2 tickets to where, mate?
Yeah.
To Mountain View.
I don't know what you're on.
Well, I'm thinking ahead of myself. I thought if you're on the Google Webmaster Forum, I know you're a top contributor in the Google My Business community, and I figured maybe the Google Webmaster Forum is the next mountain to conquer.
No. I nip in occasionally.
Okay. Now, does anybody else want to tell Edison Sheikh?
No!
No!
Don't do it!
I take it that's unanimous across the board?
Yes!
Yes!
Okay. All right, let's move on. And, we've done it again. You guys, yet again, we've answered all of the questions asked on the SEO Questions community on Google+. Now we move on to our weekly news roundup, of which we have 1 article to look at tonight. And this was an article shared by Micah Fisher-Kirshner. So, Micah, I'm going to drop you in it and ask you to comment on this article.
Yeah, so let's just say I was quite disappointed in this. You know, as any SEO, the answer is not necessarily that to forget about something, but be more creative about it, or lower the priority. Maybe it's not as, you can't do as much as you can with certain other types of pages. And while even though this was kind of classified as a local SEO, to me, I looked at it and said, this is not somebody that was, for at least this article, thinking outside the box of how you can be creative with your testimonial pages, because I've monetarily leveraged these to great effect, understanding how people are searching, how people are looking through the site, and thinking beyond the random Jack L from whatever state or country that provides no value. Like, yeah, that stuff, don't do it. But famous people, comparisons, use cases, these are great uses of testimonials, and you will see this on hundreds and thousands of sites that do this properly in just about any market. And I wouldn't classify the types that they do; those are not reviews; they're testimonials. They're from small badges that are parts of a page to full-on sections that have been created. So I was just flabbergasted, to be honest, of like, I was expecting it to be really more about clickbait when I first read the article from the title. I was like, okay, it's probably clickbait, but let me just see, and it wasn't. It was just like, don't do it. I was like, that I was not expecting, and given kind of how prevalent, to be honest, I think it is, it was really not the right advice to follow.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's a funny thing. One of the recommendations is to use target blank, so it opens in the new browser tab. I don't know. If you don't want to have friends on the internet, do those things. Just every link, make a target blank.
Yeah, I mean, I think in, like, I mean, I totally agree with Micah. I think in the context of that article, a page on a site / testimonials with, like, little 20 bolded things is not going to do anything to anyone. However, if you create, if you're a manufacturer, or, well, there's loads of things, but let's say in a manufacturer's point of view, who provide a specific kind of service or something, and they can provide case studies about clients, really in-depth case studies, and then incorporate that testimonial into that case study. Because if people are wanting validation on who uses your service or product or whatever, if they're looking for some validation, they can find really good companies, maybe great brands that they know, trust. They read the case study, understand how it was there, understand how that is applicable to you, and then the testimonial of that is almost like the cherry on top of the cake of that case study in terms of validation for them. They, using them properly is really, really, it can be invaluable content, and often that last bit of validation required for a user to make a purchasing decision, or at least to make an inquiry decision about your system, or having a quote, or whatever the case may be. But just chucking, I mean, who chucks testimonials just on one page anymore? I mean, I haven't seen that in ages. But if that's what the article is talking about, then I would agree with that. But in terms of testimonials as a whole, no way. You can use those to really, really make that make that final sort of cherry on top of the cake for a purchasing decision, or a decision to contact you. Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of, think of it as evolving kind of what has been done in the past. You've got old testimonial pages, old link pages, old partner pages, those types of things. Individually, just the old versions of them, yes, don't do. But that's because people have learned how to do better. The web has evolved, and so have those types of pages. And as Tim's saying, is like, how do you leverage it to either be parts of a different type of page, a use case type study, or how do you leverage a whole testimonial section of your site where they've gone from testimonials to full-on, basically, case studies, comparisons, explanations, famous brand people, that does a real service for what people are looking for. And I think that's the better way to approach it. So, and of course, as in any case, figure out where that fits within your priorities. But to just fully on dismiss that type of thing completely without understanding of how things have evolved, I think was a disservice for those that should understand like ways of thinking with SEO and how to be more creative with it.
The article also says that you shouldn't be linking to Yelp. But, instead, you should link to Google search and then your business name, Yelp. Because linking to Yelp has been discouraged by Yelp, according to the article.
That's the most
I
random.
don't know. I don't think that's correct. I think they even have nice widgets for your own website. No?
That was probably the most random thing in that. I thought. I kind of just, yeah.
So, we have any more on this?
No.
Any other news for the week?
Sorry, mate?
Any other news for the week?
Oh, well, apparently, I'm really getting fed up with these people. What are they called? Sem post, is it?
Yeah, I think it is SEM post.
What are they called? I can't. Yeah.
To you.
Yeah, the SEM post. I tell you what, they're really starting to wind me up. I mean, I had a go about it 2 weeks ago, but, well, one of the articles yesterday was, hey, you get little bolded sections in your review snippets for business pages in the knowledge panel. I'm like, whoa, hey, darling, that, started in October the 14th, 2004. My first screenshot of that, and possibly earlier, but with my first one was the 14th of October, 2014. I mean, coming up with news like this, which is 2 years out of date, it's like, please, check your shit before you publish it. It's like, they're really winding me up. Really winding me up.
You think this is serious, Tim?
No, mate, it's winding me up big time. This is like, if I have to moan 2 weeks in a row about people publishing incorrect crap, I just don't like it.
Tim doesn't like it. But we also have a weekly Tim rant spot.
And the other problem is when you tell them on the page in the comments and your comment is not authorized, well, then I know, you're being a dick. Because if you can't admit, actually, we're about 2 years out of date there, sorry about that, we may just remove this article. Well, then you wind me up even more.
But they spent all that time writing it. They don't want to undo it.
Oh. Yeah. Oh well.
You can't save people from themselves, though, Tim.
Sorry, mate.
You cannot save people from themselves. You know, like I bet you the advice you gave about you know, people using large article lists of free article directories. I bet you the next question would a small list be better?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Any other news for the week? We've bagged Sempost so far.
Well, here's one. I'm just trying to think. Hang on, it'll come back to me.
Let me give you a clue. Vladimir.
No, it's to do with. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. No, get this. It turns out, right. So, you know, you have Street View. Obviously, on a business page, you have that little panel where you can click to go to see Street View images. Well, anyway, this person came into the forum, and it was like. Clicking into the Street View, you can actually click down on the image on the top left. There's like a little sort of, it looks like a watch, and you can click onto it, and then it drops down if there's any earlier or later images. And this person came in saying the Street View image that is showing for my business is from 2013. But if you click on the little watch and it drops down, you can see that there's one actually from the middle of June 2015. So they were saying, and a valid question, how can we get the newer image to be showing? I mean, you've clearly gone past, and why isn't the 2015 not showing, and you're showing the 2013 out of, you know. So, valid question, went off, came back. There is no way to actually update the image, and nobody knows when the algo or the program reruns to reset to images. Can you fucking believe that? It's like, what? How much does that Street View thing cost them a year globally, and nobody knows or how or why the images update? What?
Oh man.
It's like, do you know what I mean? It's basically you've got too much fucking money that nobody knows what to do. It's like nobody gives it. It's like, fuck it. We'll spend gazillions every year driving around the planet, taking pictures of everything, but nobody knows when these images update. So that's my one rant.
Did Larry tell you anything else?
No, mate. Larry, I don't think even Larry knows that there's cars that drive around taking pictures, man.
All right. Well, I think we've reached the time.
I've got more to rant about if you want more.
Yeah, look, let's have another one.
You could just do a whole on Tim's rant. Tim's rant channel.
No.
Oh, come on, go ahead.
It's been raining for
Let go of that upset.
It's been raining? Isn't that like standard for Britain?
No, this is abnormal amounts of rain.
Micah, these people live in the UK. They think living in ice and snow is normal.
Ah.
No, this is abnormal amount of rain. And actually, it's obviously, someone obviously heard me moaning about it when I was swimming the dog this morning. And they finally decided to actually give us some blue sky and stop raining. I mean, literally, I had to walk the dog on the road today because if you stepped off it, I'd be swimming. It's ridiculous. Just too much rain.
Yeah, you're finally getting the River Thames back to what it should be.
Oh, Israel, can you believe it? Israel has sent us freaking relief agency work, apparently. I read in the newspaper this morning. Israel has sent some NGOs across to come and help with flooding. Oh my God. Now, there's a bit of a weirdness in that. Okay, yeah, one, we're accepting like NGOs from around the world to come and help us with flood relief, which is a disgrace in itself. Two, they send in people that live in a desert to come and help with flood relief. I think they're just coming over because they haven't seen water before. It's like, way.
Israel's actually, funnily enough, it does a lot of work in the kind of rescue and disaster departments.
Yeah, I was reading they've sent a lot over to the States this year. I think you had 10 tornadoes or something. Tornadoes and floods. So it said they'd been over to the States 10 times this year. But they'd never ever been to the UK, and I think because it's obviously always with Jewish organizations, I think some Jewish organizations up north had contacted them and said, we would really appreciate some help in our community, and they were like, yeah, fuck it, go. And they sent some people. But I mean, a first world country that needs NGOs is a freaking disgrace.
Hey, we took it for ours in Hurricane Katrina, so why not another, weaker country like yourselves?
Schwimmerser. Floats up.
Well, I think we should have some waist-length waders flown in. I'm sure there's a stockpile of them somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
You all should move to the Gold Coast of Australia. Here, it only rains at night time, so we're not inconvenienced.
Unless you're a nighttime party person.
Watch. Everyone will go over for Jim's birthday and there'll be a freaking hurricane, monsoon, coupled with like abnormal lightning strikes, drop bears everywhere, just total freaking Gold Coast annihilation. And he's like, well, never happened before.
Well, one thing's for sure, there'll be no floods. We're on top of the hill. No floods.
Yeah, landslides, mate.
This house has been here for 40 years. I think it might last another one. Micah can't come over. Micah's not coming.
Can't make it.
Well, then Micah has news. And not allowed to broadcast that news, I suppose.
Yeah. So I can't make it because I'm going to be having a second kid. So.
Woo!
Hey.
So yep, it's not gonna not gonna be able to travel since it'll be roughly around July. So that makes it a little rough then. Have to be a different year for that instead.
You have to wait till my next 65th birthday.
Yeah. Sorry, can't make it, but yeah.
Yeah,
So it goes.
That's okay. All right. Will we go to green room?
Yeah.
Right. Look, we've reached that time of the night again. We will be going to green room, and we'd love to have you join us. We thank you for watching us tonight, and hope that you will come and join us. We won't be on the air, but we'd love to have a chat with you. I have put, I should say, on the SEO Questions community on Google Plus a link directly into this Hangout. You won't be on the air, you won't be put upon, but we'd love to have a chat and have you let us know how we're doing. Anyway, we'll be back at the same time next week to do this all again. Thank you very much.